Hey, this is Cole with CJC Off-Road. We have this 2015 Ram 2500 truck today that we will be installing a Synergy leveling kit on. The customer's goal on this truck was to run a 37 by 1250 Toyo RT tire, and believe it or not, with the fender well size on these trucks, you can actually run a 37-inch tire with only 2.5 inches of lift, as long as you run the correct offset on the wheels. The wheels we're running on this truck will be Raceline Avengers with a plus 20 offset, which translates to approximately 5.75 inch back spacing. The cool thing about a leveling kit such as the Synergy leveling kit that replaces the front springs and front shocks is, unlike a coil spacer which limits down travel and stiffens up the factory ride, these kits are actually designed to improve the ride quality of your truck. And since you're not replacing the rear springs, you're actually retaining the truck's towing capacity, so you're keeping the usefulness of having a 2500 or 3500 truck while still improving the ride quality on the street. It's a simple kit. It has front coil springs and 4 shocks, non-reservoir Fox 2.0s. The front springs are 2.5 inch custom designed springs by Synergy Manufacturing. They're a lighter spring rate than your factory springs, designed to improve ride quality. And they also offer more down travel than the factory springs, making it so the trucks don't just bottom out and top out when you go over any kind of imperfection on the road. The front shocks are custom designed around the length of the coil springs. They're also custom tuned for ride quality. The rear shocks are custom tuned by Synergy Manufacturing to match the factory rear springs on this truck. Now you've seen everything, let's get it on the lift. So now that we have the suspension installed, let's talk about wheel and tire fitment. Now, for running 37s on one of these trucks with 2 to 3 inches of lift, it's really important to make sure you select the correct offset and back spacing on your wheels. For this truck, we'll be running plus 20 Raceline Avengers and a 9-inch width, and we'll be running a 37 by 12.5 by 17 Toyo RT. With approximately plus 18, plus 20 offset, which is about 5.5 to 6 inch back spacing. You'll minimize the amount of trimming you'll have to do to run a 37-inch tire on one of these trucks. Since we're running the plus 18 offset, there shouldn't be any sheet metal trimming required with this setup. All we'll have to do is trim some plastic. First, you want to make sure to remove this lip. On a Laramie truck like this with the factory flares, you'll have the lip built into the fender flare itself. On Bighorn and other models, it'll be a black piece of plastic that runs here at the bottom of the fender. You'll still need to trim the same lip regardless, which will be this line here. You'll also want to trim about 3 or 4 inches up on the plastic all the way across, something like this. We typically take a razor blade and heat it up with a torch and run it right across. It trims really nicely. You can even put a ruler or some kind of straight piece of metal up against the razor blade to ensure a straight cut.
Let's go.
We just finished up the suspension. We're going to take her for a spin and see how she drives. Alright, so we're taking it for a test drive right now. First impression, considerably smoother than stock. This compared to any kind of spacer lift, actually there's no comparison. The spacer kits ride considerably stiffer due to the stiffer factory spring rates. Cool, so she's driving pretty good, goes lock to lock. The trimming that we did was good for the 37s, so that's a good guideline to follow if you're running a similar setup on your truck. Handling is considerably improved. This truck, you can whip the wheel back and forth at speed. No issues with body roll, things like that. Does cost a little more than a coil spacer, although I will say this is the right way to do it. Geometry wise, you're not binding up the coils real bad. Ride quality wise, You're not stiffening up the springs by jamming a spacer inside the, or above the factory springs. You're actually running a softer spring, and that definitely translates to a softer ride all around. All in all, I'd say the Synergy kit works pretty well. All right, so here we have it, the Synergy 2.5-inch leveling kit. We're very impressed with the ride quality, handling, geometry is all correct, coils aren't bowed out. Great alternative to a coil spacer. For not a whole lot more money, it runs $950 with free shipping. And yeah, if you have any questions or anything, feel free to give us a call or check out our website. The link is below, and thanks for watching.